Tonight, Farah flips the big claim from One Nation as Pauline Hanson's party celebrates a by-election blowout win. The Treasurer's big budget pitch to young voters and Australians struggling to buy a home. Tragedy on the Central Coast, a rock fisherman drowning at a notorious location. The new Hunter School program breaking down barriers for students with disabilities. And the Jets only a win away from a spot in the A-League Grand Final.
This is NBN News with Jane Goldsmith.
Good evening. An orange wave has surged over regional New South Wales. One Nation pulling off a historic upset, comfortably snatching the seat of Farah from the Liberals. Tonight, the coalition is on its knees, while Pauline Hanson says the by-election victory is just the start of a political earthquake.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
One Nation takes flight.
And we just didn't fall over the line. We won it resoundingly.
Job done in Farah. Pauline Hanson now taking her mission to the nation.
We're coming after those other seats.
One Nation's primary vote reached more than 39%. Its biggest competition, independent Michelle Milthorpe, achieving 28%, and the Liberals just 12%, representing a monumental 32% swing to One Nation and a devastating 31% drop for the Liberals in just over a year. On the Albury High Street, a sign of the times for a Liberal Party brought low.
We've taken our medicine here tonight. We've got to learn from it.
A party abandoned by the people in a seat that its former leader, Susan Lee, held for a quarter of a century. Releasing a statement saying when Angus Taylor took over as leader, he said the Liberal Party needed to change or die. 3 months later, the result in Farah demonstrates that statement to be far truer today than it ever was.
The voters of Farah did decide to send the major parties a message.
Trust has been lost by the coalition. It was lost with 2 splits to the coalition in just 12 months.
Well, it wasn't a by-election, it was a bloodbath for the coalition. The coalition can't beat One Nation, so they'll have to join them.
We traditionally form a coalition with the National Party, but it's up to the Australian people to decide who they want to vote for.
This is a historic upset in the Australian political landscape. One Nation has been on the march for years now, and this is their arrival in the House of Representatives.
Unbelievable. This is the best day of my life.
People said we couldn't do it.
I'd say that it's time to wake up.
The next stop, Canberra, for winner David Farley, and a new target for the party.
What's your message to the Prime Minister?
Western Sydney, here we come.
A lot of my peers and a lot of people younger than me, well-qualified, aspirational people, are joining the party in big numbers.
An orange wave coming for our wide brown land. Amanda Cox, NBN News. The Farah by-election upset is sending shockwaves through the halls of power. Political editor Charles Croucher explains.
Tonight, Shadow Cabinet members are openly discussing what a Liberal National One Nation coalition would look like. It's not a serious prospect anytime soon, but the mere mention would have been scoffed at not that long ago. The result in Farah gives One Nation legitimacy, having won a seat in the House. It gives potential One Nation voters a permission structure to go out and do the same whenever they next go to the polls. The Liberal Party have been decimated and now face being squeezed out of the cities by Labor and the Teals and squeezed out in the regions by One Nation. It creates a prime environment for the government to throw caution to the wind politically, and they're about to do just that in Tuesday's budget. In hard hat and high vis, the Treasurer and Housing Minister begin budget week in a big hole.
And it's great to see this project.
But unlike national debt levels, this site will soon be filled with apartments.
We need to build, because more housing means more affordable housing for Australians.
Announcing a $2 billion commitment helping local councils build roads, sewerage, power and water for housing developments. Investments championed by the Liberal Party at the last election. Hey, that's Peter Dutton's package from the election, isn't it?
No, it's not. I mean, this is an extra $2 billion. It takes our total investment to $47 billion.
$2 billion is a significant shot in the arm of building more homes and helping
our infrastructure industry at a time it needs it the most.
This property is sold! Congratulations!
But investing in property is about to get less lucrative, with changes to how newly negatively geared properties are taxed and capital gains discounts, despite ruling it out last year.
There will be more than the usual amount of change in this budget, because there's more than the usual amount of uncertainty and more than the usual amount of anxiety about how our economy is playing out.
The government is just taking from young Australians and from older Australians and not giving them anything in return.
The move is part of a broader shift favouring work over investment and comes as younger Australians become the largest voting bloc while possessing the fewest assets.
Too few Australians, and particularly younger Australians, can get a toehold in the housing market, and that means too few people are getting a toehold in the economy more broadly.
Tonight, a new push for the government to introduce incentives for landlords to install solar, letting the savings from the sun go to renters as well.
We are asking the government to make a small tax change that will unlock $27 billion in savings for renters over the next 20 years.
But with national debt approaching $1 trillion, these pages short on sweeteners as they roll off the printer. Charles Croucher, NBN News.
And NBN News will have special budget 2026 coverage on Tuesday with our team of experts answering your questions. That's streaming live from 7:30 on 9 Now and on 9's YouTube, Facebook and TikTok social media accounts. To other news now, and a fisherman has died after being swept off rocks on the Central Coast. Police say the 41-year-old was holidaying with friends when tragedy struck at one of the state's most dangerous spots.
Located off Fraser Beach on the Central Coast, this exact spot at Snapper Point has, since 2008, claimed more than 20 lives. The latest, a 41-year-old man who died while rock fishing with friends yesterday afternoon.
It's really another tragic incident here on the Central Coast of someone drowning this season, and it's really unfortunate. And our thoughts are certainly with the man, his family, his friends and that community.
Police say around lunchtime yesterday, 3 friends had been rock fishing in the area, 2 of the men on a higher platform, while the third, the 41-year-old, was fishing below when he was swept into the water. Wearing a flotation device but not a life jacket, the man clung to an esky for up to 15 minutes before his body was recovered by paramedics. One of the other fishermen had jumped into the water in an attempt to save him but was unsuccessful.
Since July last year, 54 people have drowned along the New South Wales coastline, including 10 who were rock fishing. Authorities say this latest tragedy is a stark reminder of how dangerous this activity can be.
It's important that we all stick together as a community and demonstrate to each other, our friends, our family, our relatives, those we see on the beach, that you need to be safe. You need a life jacket. You need to be looking at the water conditions.
Lauren Evans, NBN News.
2 Victorian climbers and their rescuers have been winched to safety after spending the night stranded on a cliff in Warrumbungle National Park in the state's west. At around 1 p.m. yesterday, a 61-year-old man was struck by a falling rock at Crater Bluff near Coonabarabran. The pair managed to reach a ledge before they activated an emergency beacon. Rescuers were airlifted in but were forced to camp overnight until conditions improved. The group was winched out at around 8 a.m. today. The injured climber was taken to hospital in a stable condition. The family of Yvonne Weir is renewing a plea to help find their mother and grandmother. Yvonne hasn't been seen since February, last spotted driving a gold Ford Escape on Queensland Road in Murwillumbah. Her family has described her disappearance as out of character. A police investigation remains ongoing. Anyone with information is urged to contact Crime Stoppers. Groove in the Moo is back on the Northern Rivers calendar for another year after a successful weekend in Lismore. Event organisers locking in a 2027 return after 8,000 people descended on Oaks Oval yesterday.
Lismore playing host to some big names at Groovin' in the Moo.
Well, let's go Lismore! My first ever festival run, I got booked on
15 years ago was Groove in the Moon, so it's come full circle.
Marking a triumphant return for the festival following its hiatus in 2024, this was its debut in Lismore, and by all accounts, the gamble on a new location has paid off.
And this has just been one of those shows where everything has just worked out, felt right, and happened perfectly.
With that success, a return of the festival confirmed for next year, music to the ears of local business owners.
I'm already speaking to the council about signing a multi-year agreement, so we'll definitely be back next year.
Northern Rivers local Matt Corby popping down from Willumba to perform.
This is kind of a local show for me, so I only had to drive 50 minutes to get here, which is pretty good.
Relishing the opportunity to bring major acts to regional communities.
I think it's a wonderful thing to do, and you're bringing music to people that don't normally get to see it.
The sentiment was shared by Indigenous rapper Baker Boy, who praised the Lismore crowd for their energy.
Even from the start, the whole crowd was going crazy all the way till the end, and I was like, that's the vibe that I needed. I do it for all the young mob in the remote community, in everywhere. They see me and they go, man, he's just like me from remote community, bush kid, and now he's like on stage touring and stuff. I want to be like that.
To survive a difficult climate for live music, the festival has pivoted to a more sustainable one-day model with a heavy focus on homegrown talent. In an era where many events are folding, Lismore's success is a rare win for the industry.
Festivals are going under everywhere, and it's really great these guys have kicked it off again.
Isabel Gallagher, NBN News.
Italian Food and Culture Festival Lismore is returning to the Northern Rivers event calendar this year. The event celebrates the Italian families who have shaped the region over the last 140 years. This year, it moves to a new home at the recently revamped Lismore Showground.
Come along, be Italian for a day and enjoy yourself with music, food and dance.
Taking place July 5, the festival also honours Lismore's friendship city ties with Congelliano and Vittorio Veneto in northern Italy. Mid-North Coast residents are being encouraged to bring their bills to a series of free information sessions next week. The Energy and Water Ombudsman is hosting the event for households and businesses in Kempsey and Taree. Experts from Service New South Wales and Mid-Coast Legal Services will also be on hand. A Tamworth-based fashion designer will open Australian Fashion Week in Sydney tomorrow. Gamilaroi designer Colleen Ty Johnson will lead the runway, putting Indigenous culture on the global stage. Her new collection, Love from Gamilaroi, is inspired by her upbringing in Moree. And looking at the weather now for the Northern Rivers and the Gold Coast, plenty of sunshine about today. A top of 25 degrees for Grafton, 21 in Ballina, 24 today at Coolangatta. You're watching NBN News. Still ahead. The virus-hit cruise ship remains in limbo. We're live to the Canary Islands. Passengers flee a smoking plane that hit a trespasser on the runway. Also tonight, flares flying. What sparked these scenes in a European football match. And kicking goals. Little superstar Carter's dream comes true.
So, when I see a chance to get ahead, I will change things up. I mean, why would you want anything less than the best? It's why I switched to Google Pixel. Gemini, help me come up with a race win speech that sounds like it came from me.
You'd say something like, thanks.
Perfect.
1,000 seems like a lot per meter.
Just think of the thing.
It's 17-20 Aussie dollars. What are the transfer fees? 0.
We're not you, but when it comes to sending foreign currency, we can be your W.
Sutton Tools. Superior since 1917. Adventure is calling, so why wait? Right now with Suzuki Marina motorcycles, you can start your adventure sooner with an incredible finance offer on select Suzuki models. From the freedom of the open road to the excitement of the open water. Don't wait, start your adventure sooner with Suzuki Finance before 30th of June 2026. Visit our website for more details.
Unrecreation is spreading, and only one thing can stop it.
Honey, is that a car?
No, that's the Recreational Activity Vehicle 4. Made for recreationists. And the recreation-ish. So get on board and inflate the inflatable, because the hero of recreation is here.
What do we got here?
It's actually the
all-new RAV4. Long live recreation. Toyota.
Go Harvey Norman bonus gift cards on Google Pixel phones. Bonus $100 gift card on Pixel 10a. Save $400 on Pixel 10 Pro. Save $700 plus bonus $200 gift card on Pixel 10 Pro Fold. Hurry, ends Monday. Best prices at Harvey Norman.
There's 162 steps in making a hat, and about 66 pairs of hands that each hat will go through. We're one of the only hat manufacturers in the world that actually makes them start to finish. It's pretty important that we maintain that, because definitely a dying skill. And that's what makes it Cooper so special, is we're locally made by Australians for Australians.
Passengers on board the cruise ship stricken by hantavirus are about to disembark in the Canary Islands. Europe correspondent Josh Bavis joins us live from the port where it's all unfolding now. Josh, what happens from here?
Well, Jane, that complicated transfer process is about to begin within minutes. The ship arrived here just before dawn, and now they'll have to take the passengers and crew here to the island, where there are charter buses waiting to whisk them to the airport and then onto specialist flights. Some of those first flights will be coming from Spain and the Netherlands to take people back to European countries, but the Australian flight has been delayed until tomorrow afternoon. So the Australians are set to spend one more night on board. This very complicated and unprecedented system was almost cancelled just hours ago by the Canary Islands government.
The MV Hondi is sailing into an 11th hour limbo, the president of the Canary Islands declaring he wouldn't allow its anchoring at a late night press conference. The government is not going to help, he says. The autonomous region claiming the Spanish government promised the evacuation of the virus-stricken ship would be done in one go, but planes from Australia and the Netherlands haven't arrived yet. Australia is one of the countries who says that the plane arrives on Monday, President Clavijo says.
You must be incredibly frustrated at the situation.
It means the ship needs to anchor for longer. The Spanish government ultimately pulling rank, declaring a medical emergency. Spain's Secretary for Health posting online, no rodents have been detected, and the probability that an Andean rodent would board and reach the Canary Coast by swimming is nil. Earlier, the World Health Organization Director General had flown to Tenerife to coordinate the operation and allay concerns.
This disease is not COVID. The risk to the population, to the local population is low.
None of those who remained on board are showing symptoms. This man filming the disinfection measures put in place to stop the spread of hantavirus. Passengers, including the 5 from Australia, now facing a long trip home and an even longer quarantine period. Josh Bavis, NBN News.
There's been a terrifying situation for hundreds on board a flight in the US, the aircraft catching fire after hitting a trespasser on the runway. The incident sparking a full evacuation of the plane and an investigation into how the person was able to gain access to the airfield.
Terror during takeoff. Flames shoot from the plane's engine, cockpit audio revealing the tragic cause.
Stopping on the runway. We just hit somebody. We have an engine fire.
The person had jumped a perimeter fence, trespassing onto the runway at Denver International Airport just after 11 p.m. local time.
I felt like the plane started to tilt up when out of nowhere we felt like a thud and heard like an explosion. And I was right on the wing, so I looked to my right and I just see like the right wing just on fire. And
with smoke leaking into the cabin, the more than 220 passengers are forced to evacuate, escaping via emergency slides. Some of those on board injured in the chaos are whisked away to hospital. For those waiting to be bussed back to the terminal, the damage to the engine is plain to see.
I need you all to move away from the aircraft.
The Frontier Airlines Flight 4345 had been bound for Los Angeles. Authorities yet to release the identity of the person killed, tonight investigating exactly how they managed to breach security. In the United States, Lily Greer, NBN News.
Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard is threatening to target US sites if more tankers come under fire, according to state media. The White House is still waiting for a response from Tehran over its latest peace proposal. Meanwhile, US Secretary of State Marco Rubio today met with Qatar's Prime Minister as part of negotiations. Sokru Garang-Kwol was one of the players caught up in the chaos of a wild finish to the Prague derby. Slavia was leading rival Sparta, and victory would have secured them a title. But with 3 minutes to go, thousands of home fans stormed the field prematurely, throwing flares and fireworks, one of them hitting a goalkeeper. The referee was forced to abandon the game. Back home now, and the state government is busy building its own community-based care homes for people living with long-term severe mental illness. The facilities, some of which will be built here in the Hunter, follow a recommendation from the Bondi Junction Royal Commission to address a critical gap in the system.
It's been a long, challenging road for Andrew Texera to find a safe place to call home.
It's hard to live with mental illness, you know what I mean? Schizophrenia.
The 48-year-old's had many stints as a mental health inpatient. Before moving here, he'd been in hospital for 18 months.
So I was in there for so long, I got used to it.
Now living at Haberlis in Summerhill, he has his own apartment with a clinic on site for access to mental health care and medication 7 days a week.
It's good living here. It's like one big family.
He's also managed to quit drinking. The complex opened by charity Haberlis in 2024 to fill a gap in the system, supported housing for those with severe mental illness.
We've got hospitals, we've got prisons, and we've got the streets, but we don't have anything in between.
Now its 20 units are full.
There's been very few returns to hospital of people who've settled here. It's very successful. It's a long-term care.
And much, much cheaper than psychiatric hospitals, where one bed costs $1,800 a night.
Supported housing in this model is about 1/10 of the cost of other kinds of institutional care.
The state government now building its own community-based care for people with mental health issues who'd otherwise be in hospital.
People spend years and years and years in our hospitals. That's not a place people should be living long-term.
Construction starting this year on 6 residences with 60 beds all up in Henley, North Ryde, Layla Park and Blacktown in Sydney, as well as Maitland and Waratah in the Hunter.
When you provide people with that rehabilitation where they live in the community, those skills tend to stick.
Homes like these are a step in the right direction, but the challenge now will be building enough of them. At any one time in New South Wales, there are more than 1,000 people who need assisted accommodation.
I'm the happiest in my life since I came to live here. We need a lot more places like this.
Annalise Bolt, NBN News.
Lauren Kempe joins us now for a quick look at the weather. And Lauren, it's been a dry start to the month, but there is some rain on the way.
There is, Jane, but it's unlikely to reach some of the places that need it most, like the northwest this week. A very large high-pressure system is currently spanning most of the country, but onshore winds around it will lead to light onshore showers along the coast between now and next weekend. Rain is also expected here further west thanks to an inland trough, but the space between these two systems systems is unlikely to benefit from these falls at this stage. We'll have another cool start in store for us tomorrow before reaching tops of 25 degrees in Tamworth, 23 in Coffs Harbour, 25 in Grafton. Further south in Newcastle, a top of 22 degrees. And Jane will have some more details a little later.
Sounds good. See you soon. Thank you, Lauren. Coming up next, the heartbreaking update after the horrific volcano eruption in Indonesia. Russia dramatically scales back its biggest day of the year as fears grow over the Ukraine war. A hero police officer who survived gunfire and a dramatic pursuit that ended in tweed heads, honoured with the highest bravery award. Plus, the first of its kind class doing wonders for students with disabilities.
This origin, GIO is going blue for the Blues. Could be blue. Oi! Mr. Spot, GIO, great insurance and proud partner of the Blues, obviously.
How do you pick a pick-me-up? Do you pick a lick, a sip, or a bite? Or do you pick not to pick and get them all from the loose change menu? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
The Mazda End of Financial Year event is on now. Get a great deal on select models across the BT50 range, like the BT50 Boss and BT50 XS Cab Chassis. Don't miss out. Ends June 30.
Something more adult. He's on a horse's back.
How about
Shh, kid, the grown-ups are talking. Line of cargo shorts.
The man, Leroy.
Oh! Yes, there he is.
Oh, man. Oh, man.
Again.
Age is your power. Activate it with new Nivea Q10 Collagen Pro 3-in-1 Repairing Serum with Q10 and Collagen Peptide. Deep wrinkles are visibly reduced and skin is contoured. New Nivea Q10 Collagen Pro Serum. Nivea is for skin. With any new family member comes inevitable love and inevitable mess. With the all-new Bissell Power Clean Dual Brush, you'll leave nothing behind. With 2 brushes for 1 serious clean. Bissell Power Clean Dual Brush.
Australians keep watch over their homes but ignore home insurance premium rises.
Hey, I have CCTV.
So while you know see, you can also compare and save. It pays to compare.
Simple.
The Casino Food Company Casino Beef Week Festival is here from May 23rd to May 31st. Celebrate Australia's beef industry in this 9-day festival with cattle displays, incredible food and loads of family-friendly fun. For tickets and info, visit casinobeefweek.com.au.
Would you like to win a $5,000 dream holiday of your choice? Take out a new home loan with Summerland Bank before June 15 and you'll go into the draw to win. Keep it simple and be rewarded with a $5,000 holiday voucher for you to plan your dream getaway through Hello World Travel. We're local, ethical and customer owned. Apply online today or visit us in branch. Summerland Bank. Terms and conditions apply.
Indonesian search teams have located the bodies of 3 hikers killed in an eruption at Mount Dukono. At least 100 rescuers, military and police officers were part of the mission, which was temporarily stopped due to continued eruptions. 17 others had to be evacuated when the volcanic blast occurred. Russia has held its most scaled-back Victory Day parade in several years due to concerns over a drone attack from Ukraine. There were no tanks or ballistic missiles as President Putin inspected soldiers, but fighter planes did take part in a flypast. A last-minute ceasefire between Moscow and Kyiv reduced the danger of a strike. More than a decade after a chaotic cross-border chase involving carjackings, gunfire and a desperate dash across traffic, an officer has finally been honoured for his bravery. He received the Commissioner's Valour Award for risking his life during the daring operation to capture 2 fugitives.
The video is heart-stopping.
February 5, 2015, two fugitives lead Queensland and New South Wales police on a dramatic cross-border chase. Grand theft auto playing out in suburban streets.
The offender was armed and hijacking a number of cars, and there'd already been 4 victims at that stage.
Former New South Wales Senior Constable Troy Cutler was there. He played a critical role in taking down this dangerous duo.
I engaged him in pursuit up to about 200 kilometres an hour. Obviously, it was a stolen vehicle.
At times forcing others off the road, driving on the wrong side, even footpaths. From Caboolture to the Gold Coast, tyre spikes ultimately bringing the hours-long chase spanning 150 kilometres to a head.
Losing control and set over medium speed.
Making a manic dash across the M1. Carrying guns, they opened fire at civilians and officers.
Shot fired! Shot fired!
The shocking scene still vivid in Troy's memory, a standout in his 16 and a half years of service.
Total of 9 rounds were shot at the public and myself. And so, God willing, no one was injured. No one was killed. I did feel whiz over the top of my head.
The father of 2 has since been awarded an array of accolades for his valiant efforts.
By his sustained conspicuous actions and exceptional courage, Senior Constable Cutler evinced the highest standards of the New South Wales Police Force.
More than 11 years on, receiving the highest honour of all, the Commissioner's Valour Award.
Very proud to be standing up in front of 349 recruits last Friday. And the best part of that, I had both my 2 young sons with me.
McKenna Bailey, NBN News.
As students settle into Term 2, a small Hunter school is celebrating the early success of a new program that's breaking down barriers for pupils with disabilities. The deaf-blind class at Tanambit Public is the first of its kind in a mainstream environment, and 5-year-old Ari Bennett is its first student.
Any kindy kid might find starting big school overwhelming. But with the help of his teacher, support staff and new friends, little Ari is settling in and learning every day.
Every day is something new.
Ari is deaf, blind and has cerebral palsy. He uses touch to understand the world and is starting to communicate with tactile sign language. His teacher, Polly Van Art, is deaf and uses a unique approach. Here, he's learning the word ball.
But first, he needs to know what the real object is. And then we link it to a sign in Auslan. And it's the same way that kids learn oral language as well. And, hopefully he'll link, that's the sign, that's the object, that's the same thing. And then we can link it to the Braille alphabet.
Ari is her first deaf-blind student, and so far it seems a good match.
A deaf teacher, I use my deaf lens and my deaf methods to teach Auslan and teach Ari, and I see that as equal to oral and hearing education.
The 5-year-old has been embraced by the school community, but getting this far wasn't easy and followed 2 years of advocacy by his mum, Jamie.
She really wanted him here. She had picked us as where she wanted Ari to go to school. So it was a process of how do we support that to make it the best option for him.
Supports have been implemented both in the classroom and playground, where Ari is getting to know his schoolmates.
There's different children every day down there playing with him. It's so heartwarming. He has an amazing Year 6 buddy who has got to know him and just loves spending time with him.
Just seeing him enjoying what he's doing as what he has is what I would think would be hard to deal with.
The schools striving for inclusion recently asked to perform an acknowledgement of country for the education department.
And it was Ari and the hearing class and a student from one of our other inclusion and support classes.
We acknowledge the Wanneroo people, traditional keepers of this land.
You watch it, it's just tears in your eyes because you see children succeeding.
And Ari's Tanambit Public team has high hopes for his future.
Just that he'll get the care that he needs and is respected.
I really believe that Ari will have a great life, and he can, do good things and break through barriers. And, we're going to support him to do that.
Natasha Bayersdorf, NBN News.
11-year-old Carter fulfilled a lifelong dream yesterday, kicking a goal in his first ever Aussie rules game. Carter, who suffers from cerebral palsy, debuted for the Warragul Gulls in Victoria, certainly making it a game to remember. Carter says his next goal is kicking one at the MCG. Oh, two beautiful stories there in a row. It's time for sport now with Adam Murray, and it's all to play for in the A-League semi-finals at the moment.
Good evening, Jane. Newcastle's first leg against Sydney was a thriller, and with the tie in the balance, Jets coach Mark Milligan explains why his side holds the advantage next ahead of Origin selection.
When things get real, I want to speak to a real person real quick. Things are real.
Okay, and the tow truck is on its way.
That's why Yui is CanStar's most awarded comprehensive car and home insurer. Yui, you insured. Can you grab the cordial, kids?
Coughs, cold and flu are no fun. Save the day with Codral Kids.
Clover is super chatty. Never misses a Friday night gossip session. Always has to get the last word in. Supercoat, with 22 essential vitamins and minerals to keep them super.
We're just taking the family to Fiji. Look, I've been snuffed. I've been sat on. I smell like banana sun cream. And I'm having the time of my life.
Get into Kia for incredible value. The Hybrid Sportage from just $44,490 drive away. And the mild Hybrid Stonic now from just $29,990 drive away. See a local Kia dealer now.
Kia, movement that inspires.
What if $2 was all it took to win this Montville masterpiece? With a guest retreat, 2 cars and gold, this $6.7 million Marta Prize home package is pure magic. Get your tickets now.
Oh, look at that juicy, those golden, that ice cold. Wait, there's more? Give them lunch envy for $6.95 with the McSmart meal. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Officeworks has low prices. Get this Google QLED TV, a Samsung A17 5G smartphone, or this Lenovo Yoga laptop. Officeworks. Big ideas, low prices.
I call them my support crew. When I need help, they're there.
Just like Yui.
Yes.
There when you need.
Yes, they're making us feel very special. The remote! Shop around, try Yui.
Yui, you insured.
Left out of a will? Estate litigation can be complex, but you don't have to navigate it alone. SP Garrett Lawyers have the expertise and experience to ensure your rights are protected. SP Garrett Lawyers. Trusted, local, reliable.
Up to 40% cheaper.
American Barnes from $9,250.
Also backed by a 20-year manufacturer's warranty. Call Best Sheds on 1800 15 17 18 or check out our range at bestsheds.com.au.
The A-League finals remain on a knife's edge, with the first leg of both semi-finals ending as 1-1 draws. In Sydney, the Jets fought from a goal down against the Sky Blues, setting up an almighty showdown back home in Newcastle. The Sky Blues were well supported at home, but so too were the Jets. Busloads of fans setting up camp at the southern end of Allianz Stadium. Known for its defence this season, Sydney arrived with an attacking mindset.
Here's Kispe. Piero Kispe shoots and it's saved by Deliano.
A moment of fortune breaking open the match after the half-time break.
He's picked out Quintar on the right boot. And now it might yet fall. Stamatopoulos.
Apostolos Stamatolopoulos heading home Sydney's 100th goal against his former club.
A really cruel spin on the ball for the Jets, but it's a brilliantly brave finish.
Boasting the best attack in the league, the Jets needed to show it.
And now Clayton Taylor. Oh, he's got the right side, Taylor. Ball across the face. Eli Adams. And we're all square.
Ice-cold Eli Adams scrapping Sydney's lead.
Thank God for the net, because that one's flying into the belly of the Newcastle fans, and they wouldn't be giving it back. They're square, the Jets. It's 1-1 at Allianz.
Mark Milligan's men now with the advantage, given they'll host the return leg on Saturday night.
I always have advantage Newcastle in my head because I know the intent that we're going to go into the game with.
The Sky Blues aware they let a chance slip.
I think we worked really, really hard. We created a lot more, and we were unlucky not to have a few more.
With more than 18,000 tickets already sold, a full house is expected at McDonald Jones Stadium, and a grand final spot is on the line.
End of the day, there's 2 goals, there's a pitch, man, you have to play. That doesn't matter, home and away.
Jets fans will be hoping Lockie Rose can overcome a calf complaint for the Clash, who was left out of last night's squad.
We need to make sure that we get enough load into Rosie to make sure that we're looking after him as well, and to make sure that he's effective for us. So it was more erring on the side of caution than anything else.
In the other semi-final across the ditch, Auckland and Adelaide also shared the spoils. The Panthers have survived one of their toughest tests of the season, pulling away late to beat the Raiders 30-18. Nathan Cleary putting Penrith on his back in another strong showing, securing a 4th win on the trot for the competition leaders.
Greeted with a chorus of boos from the Raiders faithful, the Panthers, the competition's strongest attack, proving hard to stop.
Casey McLean on that potent left side.
At the end of the game, we were just killing ourselves, but I thought our resilience was better in the second half. So both ends of the scale there.
The Storm have vowed they can still make the finals after snapping their 7-game losing streak. Melbourne's commanding 44-16 victory over the West Tigers, a second straight heavy defeat for Benji Marshall's men since Jerome Luai signed with the Chiefs.
His game, I know he's just inspirational, to be quite honest.
This creates a bit of a negative smell around what we're doing with those 2 scorelines. We've got to be better with some of the things we're doing, and it's just going to take some fight and some resilience and some hard work to get out of it.
Luke Dufficy, NBN News. The Sea Eagles' confidence is soaring under Kieran Foran, the interim coach hailing the latest win as the best defensive performance yet. The emphatic 32-4 victory over the Broncos, soured by a sickening injury to a veteran Manly forward.
The Fosball fairy tale is back on track. The Sea Eagles claiming their 5th win from 6 games.
It gives us a lot of confidence, but it is only early days. We want to just keep building the way we're playing.
Young halfback Joey Walsh is full of that confidence, crossing for his first NRL try in just his 2nd career start.
We love everything that Joey goes out and does on that footy field. He's an all-in sort of player, and I thought he came up with some big plays.
Kieran Foran was most impressed by the work done without the ball in the 28-point win over the Broncos.
I reckon defensively, that's our best performance. We got our detail right, like on our edges defensively, but I thought it was our brutality through the middle, like we really went after them physically.
In a cruel blow, Manly forward Siwa Taukiaho is sidelined indefinitely after breaking his leg in 2 places.
He'll get himself back quicker than expected, and hopefully he's back before the end of the season.
With South Sydney's superstar ruled out, a new Latrell starred on debut as the Rabbitohs crushed the Sharks 36-12.
Well, the real Latrell turned up. He was very good. I'm very proud of him.
Leaving Cronulla coach Craig Fitzgibbon seething at his side's inconsistent season.
Getting a bit sick of waiting for it, to be honest. The only way out for us is through. Just harden up. Just do the simple things better.
Samantha Pote, NBN News.
GWS's superstars have stood tall when they needed it most, clawing their way from behind to beat Essendon by 14 points. After an error-riddled first half, coach Adam Kingsley was pleased with the Giants' composure in the final quarter.
To be able to come away with a win, having made some errors, particularly first half. Now we'll dig in. We've got a gritty group.
They're now 13th on the ladder. After the break, the Giants hit a historic low in Super Netball.
Harvey Norman and upgrade and save on selected laundry. Upgrade now to the latest front load, top load, dryers and washer dryer combos and save up to $500. Upgrade and save up to $500 on selected laundry. Best prices now at Harvey Norman.
Join today. NRMA Insurance, a help company.
I really want to go. Okay, I'll think about it. You know, it's never okay for someone to say or do things that make you feel uncomfortable, no matter what. And if you're not sure, you can always talk to me.
Every conversation brings us closer to a world without child sexual abuse. Let's end child sexual abuse, one talk at a time. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
Needs a little love.
Needs a lot of love.
Refinance?
Go for it. The tapping.
The timing.
The potential.
Birthday present.
Numbers.
Looking good.
Expansion. I have a new idea.
Whatever role you need us to play, we're your partner for every stage. More than money.
Think of everything you could do with NIB. You could use NIB rewards to get a discount on some new sneakers. You could get into running. You could find the perfect physio and really get into running. Who knows where your potential might take you? Let's just start with the discounted sneakers. NIB, potentially amazing.
I was thinking that we could order some there.
No need, my darling. I prepared a delectable, sticky pork stir fry.
Get some pork on your fork.
Leptospirosis is a cattle disease which is a risk to you, your workers and your cattle. In humans, lepto-infections from cattle have high hospitalisation rates and can lead to chronic illness. In cattle, it can lead to reduced fertility, stillborn or aborted calves. Only Ultravax 7-in-1 vaccine stops the spread of lepto as well as preventing the 5 key clostridial diseases of cattle.
Norco Primex 2026 now in Lismore. Over 1,000 suppliers across agriculture, machinery and innovation all in one place. More to see, more to experience. You don't want to miss this. May 21 to 23. Get your tickets now at primex.net.au.
Looking to refresh your home? Inspire Furniture's clearance sale is on now with 20 to 60% off furniture, lounges and homewares. Style, comfort and value all in one place. Visit Inspire Furniture in Ballina today.
This report brought to you by Somerville Laundry Lomax for all matters when it matters most.
The Giants' losing streak in Super Netball doesn't look to be ending anytime soon. Smashed by the Mavericks 60-41, their 9th straight defeat. The Swifts came from behind to beat the Sunshine Coast Lightning 70-56 for their 3rd win of the season. Western Forces Super Rugby Finals hopes have taken a hit, losing to the Brumbies 32-15 in Canberra last night. Newcastle's Harry Johnson-Holmes crashed over for the Forces' only try in the first half. The Brumbies scored 4 of their own to cement their spot in the top 6. A tough run for the Seagulls has gone from bad to worse in Queensland Cup, suffering a 3rd consecutive defeat this afternoon. Tweed letting a home ground advantage slip through their fingers, overrun by the Western Clydesdales.
The Tweed Seagulls started strong, JJ Collins crossing the line within the opening 10 minutes of the match. Tweed using that momentum to find the line again just minutes later. Adam Christensen adding more points, crashing over for a 3rd. A successful conversion to match for a 16-0 lead. It wasn't long before the Clydesdales hit back, breaking away with back-to-back tries in response. Then a penalty just before half-time, Tweed taking the 2 to extend their lead 18-12. But the Clydesdales found the line again after the break. An intercept by Toonda's fullback Christopher Woodbridge levelled the score. both teams building their momentum, but the Clydesdales getting ahead, Denzel Burns adding another 4. Tweed down by 4 as the final siren rang out, 28-24 to Toowoomba, the Tweed Seagulls slumping to a third straight loss. Isabel Gallagher, NBN News.
To Group 3 now, and the Old Bar Pirates are back in the winner's circle. The reigning premiers shaking off a winless start to the season yesterday, dominating the Port City Breakers 34 points to 6.
It was Port City who opened the scoring. Alec Cocking slicing through the Pirates' defence. The Breakers starting strong with a clean conversion, but the Pirates weren't going down without a fight. The boys in blue and red putting up a united front, eventually forcing an error that quickly turned into points. From there, the floodgates opened. Fast sets from the Pirates exposing the Breakers' defence. The Pirates relentless, Isaac Warboys partnering with debutant Rory Clark to put the final nail in the coffin. After a winless start to the season, the effort getting a tick of approval from the skipper.
To be 0-2 and then coming in front of the fans today and have a good response, mate. We're really happy with what we achieved today.
Crediting their form and maintaining consistency.
I think sort of our middle laid a little platform quite early, and when we go away from that, we look a bit vulnerable and stuff like that. So we just need to keep improving and working on what we're good at.
Kate Parsons, NBN News.
The Port Macquarie Dolphins are continuing to assert their dominance in the Waratah Women's League. They secured 2 from 2 in their weekend doubleheader against the Canberra Nationals, finding themselves second on the ladder. And the Surfing Junior Series has wrapped up in Urunga this afternoon. Pearl Eaton and Hugo Spearings taking out the under-16s events. Max Gould claimed the 14s boys title, backing up his earlier win at Bonny Hills. And the Central Coast's Alani Morris took out the 14s girls division. Stars of the future, and we'll see them many more times over the years.
Absolutely. Thank you, Adam. It was a beautiful day to be at the beach today, soaking up the sunshine for Mother's Day. We'll check all of your local weather details with Lauren Kempe, including your 7-day outlook, right after the break.
I'm doubling that bonus. $20,000.
Green takes over.
That's what a rocket up some of you.
On a Cash Zone Sunday.
At TAFE New South Wales, you'll gain skills that work, plus the confidence to use them.
$1,000 seems like a lot, but neither. It's $17.20 Aussie dollars. What are the transfer fees? 0.
Just think of the things you could do.
We're not you, but when it comes to sending foreign currency, we can be your W.
When you need urgent medical care, but it's not life-threatening, that's a case for a bulk-billed walk-in Medicare Urgent Care Clinic. Find locations and opening hours at health.gov.au/Medicare UCC. Authorised by the Australian Government, Canberra.
For years, we've been afraid of them. Now it's time for them to be afraid of us. Rise and fight for your freedom!
You want to fight? Then let's fight together.
We'll use all of our friends, everyone and anyone who hates Gilead, to finally declare enough.
Expired sunscreen exploded in my front pocket.
Think you need to go somewhere? What about us?
But now, we're just taking the families of Fiji, Mount Fuji, Paris,
New York City.
I could cry. Happy days!
Yank us off the top shelf.
Go somewhere!
Oh, I can feel myself healing.
Got a list of jobs that only a Polaris can handle? Get on it with the Polaris End of Financial Year Sale. Score very handy discounts on Polaris Ranger models, the Work-Ready Pro XD, and the Adaptable Expedition models. The Polaris End of Financial Year Sale. Get on it at your local Polaris dealer. Polaris, think outside.
Looking to refresh your home? Inspire Furniture's clearance sale is on now with 20 to 60% off furniture, lounges and homewares. Style, comfort and value all in one place. Visit Inspire Furniture in Ballina today.
For over 100 years, Somerville Laundry Lomax has been providing legal support to individuals, families and businesses. When you need someone who'll stand beside you, turn to the team trusted by generations. Somerville Laundry Lomax, for all matters when it matters most.
Won't you please help me, help me.
We've helped Australians for 100 years. Now we're helping protect and prepare them for the next 100.
A crisp morning turned into a mostly sunny Mother's Day in our beautiful part of the world. It's been such a lovely weekend, rounding out a really dry start to May. Now, we have a little bit of pre-winter rain in the forecast, but unfortunately, not everyone will benefit from this. The NT saw an isolated heavy downpour overnight, close to 100 millimetres falling there, and around 30 to 40 millimetres in a few far north Queensland spots. Rainfall, though, pretty minimal elsewhere in the last 24 hours. A very large high centred here in the Bight means we've been seeing mostly blue skies over the country of late, but that is all set to change. Offshore winds will switch more onshore along the coastal fringe this week, and as these winds feed off unusually warm sea surface temperatures, there is a really warm little pool just off the coast here. We can expect a run of rainy days east of the Divide. Further west, a trough is also developing here over central Australia, and this should deepen in the next day or so. The Alice is settling nicely into the cooler weather. We have a single-digit start there tomorrow before a top of 22. Partly cloudy skies in Brisbane, 10 degrees warmer than that overnight and mid-20s during the day, and Sydney can expect just slightly cooler conditions. Locally today, we reached tops along the coast of 23 degrees at Evans Head, 21 in Ballina and 20 at Cape Byron. Southerly winds are set to pick up around mid tomorrow afternoon, dropping overnight temperatures, and light showers arriving late this evening and continuing on and off over the course of the day. Mostly cloudy skies overhead, reaching maximums of 24 at Evans Head, 22 in Lismore, 23 at Byron Bay after a low of just 17 degrees. And taking a look at coastal conditions for tomorrow, we've got 2 metre seas with a 1.5 metre swell, southeasterly winds between 20 to 25 knots. We'll see the low tide in the morning at around 9:58 with the afternoon high at 4:05. Sun to rise about 20 past 6 and setting just after 5. A little cloudier overhead in the Tweed tomorrow, 24 degrees the top. Showers continuing and intensifying throughout Tuesday and Wednesday, up to 15 millimetres each day on Thursday, Friday and Saturday, and that rain will stick with us for the rest of the weekend. 24 in Ballina tomorrow, 23 on Tuesday. Rain also set to extend from Wednesday through to at least Saturday, if not Sunday, around 15 millimetres each day likely at this stage. Low 20s the top in Lismore for the next 7 days, around 12 to 13 degrees overnight, and those showers also off and on over the course of this next week. It's looking a little drier in Grafton, but we can expect showers basically every day until next Sunday. And checking out the surf across some of our east coast beaches, Bar Beach at Newcastle was very sunny today, but the seas were right up, so not many surfers taking advantage of those kinds of conditions.
Thank you, Lauren. And that is NBN News for this Sunday. The late news is at 10:15. From all the news team here, happy Mother's Day to all of the mums, including our own. Good night.